So long.
We used to go from Albany. I used to go almost an hour and a half up that end.
Yes, correct.
Steady his nerves.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Adam Wales. Sorry? Yeah, we'll have a fight. I promise. Let's have a look at some of these silly things. Well, I've set this up to play stupid games, so let's see what happens.
Chaz, I want the boat behind.
Sorry, you want the boat? Yeah, it's rather interesting, isn't it? I wonder what that costs to rent.
Good afternoon once again, folks, and welcome to the Norfolk Course. We're out to the river view right now for the start of our little trip today. And what we're going to do is just head on down the river, look at Wroxham Broad, and go on to Sandhouse Broad, and we'll look around there before going further to Horning Reach. Horning Reach is our turning point, so I'll talk to you on the way out about a bit of wildlife that we should see. Hopefully a few young birds, some of the plants and things growing up on the banks around here that will be coming out for summer time. And also a little bit about sort of the history of the Broads and a few other points of interest.
He's an interesting fella.
Once we get to Horning Reach, then we'll turn around and come back to the boatyard. It should be a little more quiet. I'll let you just gather your thoughts and enjoy the beautiful surroundings. So just to start things off, we've left one of the oldest boatyards on the Broads. That was founded back in 1878 by a gentleman called John Loynes. John was a pretty good boat builder, really, and it started off by renovating a little wooden rowing dinghy. And he then took a few friends out in a little trip on the Broads, and they loved seeing some little ships so much. They could hire the dinghy to go off and explore by themselves. And John saw this as a way of earning a few bob, so he started building more of these dinghies and hiring them out, and then made them a bit bigger, turned them into sailing boats. And as his business developed and his sons grew up and joined the business, they decided that actually they'd like to build some wooden motored cruisers. You might see a few of these older wooden styles of boats out in the water today, but the majority of them you'll see are made from fiberglass, such as those to our left as our rivals, Barnes and Brinkcraft. So these boats nowadays are really quite luxurious. You'll see some of Barnes' offerings there with solar panels on board. They're almost as nice as ours back in the Faircraft lines. Many of our boats nowadays have flat screen TVs, games consoles, whirlpool bars, full-size showers and full-size beds as well. Now the boat you're on at the moment is part of a fleet of double-decker boats that operates under the banner of Broads Tours, which as a business was founded back in 1935 by an early retired bank manager called Charles Hannaford. Charles really loved the Broads and enjoyed sharing it with people, and he was quite an accomplished artist and author as well. So he decided that for his customers he'd produce a little guidebook which he called The Charm of the Broads, and he put some of his paintings and maps and observations about the area in it. We've had this reprinted quite a few times since then, so if you fancy a copy as a little souvenir of your trip to the Broads today, Marilyn will be coming around with those in the next few minutes, and they're priced at just £2 each. If you look to our right, you'll see there's
Egyptian goose.
Egyptian geese
Yeah,
just
all
in this
right.
garden
Yeah.
here, looking fairly chilled out. Egyptian geese have a brown eye patch and colourful feathers on their wings, so they're slightly different to the other geese, the grey lags and Canada geese that we'll hopefully see a little later on. Also on our right here is very interesting.
Very
Quite a lot
distinct.
going on here, so we'll have another look when we return. We look out at the moment for a miniature railway line running around the garden. That's the Barton House Miniature Steam Railway. put in 1963. It captures the authentic atmosphere of the traditional railway scene. But it's also home there to the Wherry Yachts Charter Trust. Wherry yachts being big sailing boats that were used for holidays on the Royals, and they were a development of the pleasure and trading wherries. Trading wherries were originally used for moving cargo around the area. We should hopefully see one, if we're lucky, maybe two of these types of wherries a little later on. And at that point I'll tell you a bit more about them. We'll be out there for a good view there. I'll explain why they're so important.
Yeah.
When you talk, it was really loud on the film. Oh.
Thank you.
As we come along this first part of our trip at the moment, we're actually travelling between two villages, technically speaking. So to our right it's the village of Wroxham, but on our left is Houghton St John. You do find that most people will refer to both villages simply as Wroxham or but part of the confusion we're trying to remember which village is which comes from the fact that Roy's of Wroxham, the large department store as it now is, actually sits over in Houghton, so it's not in Wroxham at all. However, it has been there since 1899 when two brothers, Arnold and Alfred Roy, set up their business offering local produce and supplies to the boating visitors. The shop has grown quite a bit over the years and now takes over all four corners of the crossroads around just over Wroxham Bridge. There's always a bargain to be had in Roy's, so if you pop over there later you'll find all the shops there, Roy's shop, as well as the food hall. We've got a really good bakery tucked away. Now a few young birds to see. To our left we have a small family of swans, just two cygnets with these, and you've got mum there as well. I assume the males have a larger black fleshy lump at the base of their neck. They're hanging around there because there's a good amount of food. You can see them reaching down and plucking out some of the plants. You might see a few other cygnets here, a few families on the grass field. To the left where you've got that in wooden little sportsboat there, you'll see that on the edge of the garden there's a big wooden pole, and that's what we're wearing glass.
Yeah.
Practical things.
I've got a roller sitting outside the shed behind it that I removed from the shed last year, and I've got half a roll left. I'm not throwing it out. For you to
and then weight to the bottom, well that's the counterweight of about a ton or so of lead and concrete. The skipper and his one member of the crew, perhaps his wife and his son, he'd be able to raise their mast to get through the bridges. What they usually do is they're not manoeuvre, or shooting the bridge. They sail straight at you, and at the last possible moment they drop the sail and the mast and use the momentum of these large vessels just to carry the machine. The other option for them with no engines on board was to use a quantic pole, a long wooden pole, just to push them through. But that was quite hard work, so they preferred to shoot the bridge when they could. Sometimes nowadays you see some of the yachtsmen still shooting the bridge, but it's quite risky. You get the timing wrong, or the wind picks up a little bit, you could end up doing quite a bit of damage. So generally they'll stop before they get to the bridge and just switch off their engines. Unless of course they're racing, in which case they still could.
Cushion.
Family of swans to see down there. I'll slow down a bit as we come to this point. It seems to be a bit of a blockage up ahead of us. But you'll see the swans and the cygnets to our left. To our right, Canada geese in this garden here. Black necks, black heads, and white chin strapped to. But otherwise the bodies are grey, white bottoms, much like the grey lag geese. Although the Canada geese have black beaks and black feet. Well, these cygnets have decided actually to hide underneath some of the branches overhanging the river, but you can still see them just about on the left there. These two are a bit smaller than the other two that we saw. The families in slightly different stages. We never actually saw them nest at all. They were all just hidden out of our way. But popped out one day. One of the families had 5 siblings, and they were all being given a ride on mum's back, which is a good way of helping to protect them. The swans do this, but most commonly we see great crested grebes doing it with their young when they're up to a couple of years old.
It's not like this. You know the one in Mississippi? The one one, he's on the school in Mississippi. Go back and forward. Mississippi, Palestine is out the back.
There was one near us before you came on.
Yeah, it came down by
You know the big game, you know, steam paddles like that.
We were down there with the camera club the other Monday. Rather nice.
Coming on here, then you'll notice some really lovely
Did they have the music?
tend to find that the houses here next to the river are raised up off the ground easily. This helps to protect against
It's got a nice boat.
Here's the final here. You can see marked on the quay heading to our right there where the algae, plants and things, the moss and stuff are growing up. It's where it's damp and how much the water can rise up. Usually only a few inches each day. You've got the winter time, the water can rise up sometimes. The storms and things.
The rollers
just top
out the
over
front.
The quay heading in front across the garden. So when you build a house around here, it's best
Hey, look,
to
get your camera ready,
on
chap.
tubular steel pilings. You can hammer down into the ground 10, 20, maybe even 30 metres until you find a nice hard bottom and then fill those holes and pilings with concrete, and that creates a really strong structure. The houses are then usually made out of wood to make them all a bit lighter, and you can see with the roofs as we're passing on this stretch that quite a few of these are thatched. So thatching involves using local and natural materials. In other parts of the country, straw and hay used, but here in Norfolk there wasn't abundance of green sedge, so green sedge was used instead. They're both members of the grass family, and they grow well on the banks of the river. We'll see some green sedge growing a little bit later on. The reed is quite brittle, much like straw, so you use it for the main body of the roof, but then sedge is used for the ridge because it's a lot more flexible. You can see with some of these houses as we come around here that there's a nice bit of pattern work on the ridges, and it's thought that this was originally down to the thatcher. Each would have had his own kind of signature pattern, really liked to use a bit of marketing or advertising at the time. As we come around this bend, you'll see a run of 3 cottages at different stages of the lives of their roofs. The first one we'll see with the slate extension coming out of its right-hand side. That one was thatched in October last year, so understandably looks a lot brighter and fresher than some of the others, more of a golden kind of brown colour as opposed to the grey brown of the thatched roofs that have weathered in a little bit more. Over the top of the ridge you've got a lattice work of strips of hazel holding it all together but adding to the lovely pattern. The next cottage along you'll see has quite a big bit of plastic over part of the roof there. And that roof is rotting away quite a bit, both the reed and the sedge going. So reed will last 80 to 100 years if it's of good quality, but sedge will only last about 30 years. So you do need to replace it several times within the lifetime of the reed. With the reed you can generally comb through it, get rid of the top rotting layer, and then it should be alright. Nowadays, chicken wires put over the top of these roofs, and that helps to prolong the life of it, stops birds from stealing the reeds to make their nests, and even stops animals like squirrels from hiding their nuts away amongst the reeds. So that can be a little bit of an issue if the squirrel forgets where he's put his acorn and it starts to germinate. You could end up with a low tree growing roof. And on some of the older thatched roofs that haven't been replaced, we do see a few plants, quite a lot of moss coming up. We're approaching the last house in the village now. So there's a big boat moored just outside it. The water goes underneath this house and comes out on Wroxham Broad. It's often used as a shortcut by the swans and the geese, so they don't have to go around behind this bit of river here. You'll notice that the edge of the garden, just past where this big boat is protected by a very particular kind of quay heading. Through the village, banks of pine have been used, steel pilings perhaps as well. But here we've got older piling. So older piling uses older poles, which are basically the trunks of the older tree, one that grows through the banks of the river. One of the reasons it's used, apart from being a local product, is that when it's in the water, it goes nice and hard and strong, it doesn't rot away. It's a great alternative instead of having to treat planks of pine if you want to it's not a new discovery either, using alder for this kind of purpose. Apparently most of Venice was built using underpinnings made out of alder, and the Romans used to use alder poles to create the bases of their roads.
Oh my God.
Did I say?
I'll have one on the wall. I'll have one. Depending on what time we're heading back, I'll send it to you. That's nice. Solid. I'll take if she's prepared. Go to the bar and I'll buy her a dinner. I'll have a couple of bites in there.
Now we're amongst the trees, we've got just a few different types, really, not too many, because the ground is so damp here. You tend to find it's mostly older, but it's slightly more rounded,
Winchester,
slightly darker,
back
and got quite a bit of willow as well, of varying types. Some of the easiest willow to identify is coming up on our left, it's a little longer, thinner green leaves, almost look a little bit silvery, caught by the wind, turn a little bit. Also, there's some silver burnt. You can see some of that to the left with its white or silver colour to its rather delicate triangular trees as well. But these trees aren't have their roots. They're the first colonising species of tree in these wet areas. If you're any good with trees, of course, you might be able to pick out a bit of ash around. That shows us just how the ground is drying up a little bit. It's starting to dry a bit better. But also there's some sycamore. There's quite a bit of sycamore to our right. It's got the bigger leaves that are more of a maple kind of shape. They've got 5 points to them. And at the moment they've got some of their seeds on as well. So helicopter seeds just hanging down a bit. The sycamore as a tree is a little bit of a weed really. It tends to grow wherever it likes. It grows really well. So in some parts it is clear normal saplings full now. It's growing quite well. Around.
I got a few pictures of swans on the lee, 2 weeks ago Monday, but I didn't put them in the other people. Other people have much better images than mine. Let's leave it like that. Yeah. I was rather glad I didn't put any in. Yeah, sweet.
It's so easy. Yeah, no, I've done that when I was driving by the people around like, no, it only takes like 2 or 4 seconds, you're not we're not going too far.
You want to get sideways. So I'll say to your brother, make sure we can. I beg your pardon.
So to our right, you can see the entrance going on to Wroxham. There's a fair amount of sailing going on here today. It started this really races that take place every day of that week, which has quite a bit of historical significance because it's actually been a regatta held on Wroxham every year since 1888. But it gets quite busy, so it's pretty much like a race course for them. So we're on one of the largest boats on board right now. It's about 80 foot this boat, so we tend to get in the way of it. Not on purpose, it just kind of happens because there's so much of it. So yes, we stay on the river and take a little view of the racing from out here. From some points as we go past, you've got Wroxham Island to our right hand side, a few gaps between the trees and some areas where there are moorings, you'll be able to see through and be able to spot some of those racing at that point. The Wroxham Broad there is one of the largest broads in the area, and all of the larger broads tend to have yacht clubs on them. In the case here, the Norfolk Broads Yacht Club is based on the far side of the broad. You might see their clubhouse, the building as we pass. They've been there since 1938, built up over the years to about 1,500.
That's right.
Yeah.
But out the river here, we get a really good view actually of all of the flowers that are coming through on Wroxham Island. Over the last few years, they've done a lot of work clearing back the trees here, just to try and get a bit more wind blowing across the broad there to make it better for sailing. There's loads of space, and always a bit of a wind use the fact that it's so open. Also, with the trees cut back, you tend to find that plants like reed and sedge start to grow up, and they play a really important role because they protect the banks of erosion. Any boats that go a bit too fast cause a bit of wash, and these waves produce eat away at the soil around the roots of the trees, and quite a lot of damage. So having the reed and sedge grow up does help to protect the banks in there. And of course, many other plants can then grow through, since they're not outshaded by the trees and are more light to get into. So mostly here as we pass, we've got Equicrimini, so that's the taller plants, with a dusky pink kind of colour to it. Great for butterflies, and on a sunny warm day like that, you might just see a few red admirals, peacocks, maybe some whites as well, and large whites. Keep you guys good for those fluttering around. One other insect that is worth looking for, and particularly on these open stretches where you've got lots of plants growing in the shallows, are things like dragonflies and damsel flies and device elves. And that's two are like miniature versions of dragonflies, really. And they come in really bright colours, greens, blues and reds. So they'll just be zipping over the top of the surface of water and plants, trying to stop them, lay some eggs perhaps. Just keep moving, catching insects. So,
It's all in the eye.
It's like my that's
this river that we're on then, River Bure, is a natural formation, as are all of our rivers around here. But the broads like Wroxham Broad, Soundhouse Broad, and many of the others, they're all man-made. The majority of the broads are all dug out by hand through substantive techniques, which is made up of active leaf matter. And it was a really good source of fuel. It was dug up from about the 9th century, so it was a Viking idea that was brought over. And the Vikings had found the locals cutting down the trees, but they pretty much run out of all the wood, so they decided actually they needed some other fuel, so peat was dug up into rocks called turns, and then dried out. The big digging continued right up until the mid-15th century, but by that point the water levels had started to rise up due to tidal surges, storms, and perhaps even climate change going on as well. And so the broads were created, and they were used for fishing, the locals catching pike, perch, bream and roach were caught. Eels were actually caught commercially, and jelly and sent off to London where they were considered a delicacy. Nowadays you tend to find that there aren't as many eel catches around anymore, it's quite a tough job, and instead those who do catch them will smoke them and sell them to the Netherlands. The main use of the broads though was as a mindful transport network. These broads, the rivers connected all of the villages together. Here at Wroxham you can get all the way down to Great Yarmouth, and the port there, the estuary, Great Water. That's about 25 miles away. And then from there at Great Yarmouth, you cross Great Water, head over the river, and you can head up to Norwich. So moving goods around the area was best done by boat. You could move 20 to 40 tons in one of these old trading wherries, these big sailing boats, which were thought to have been descendants of the Viking longships. As we come past the downstream entrance or exit with the sun to Wroxham Broad, you will see through the gap there is one of these wherries. And there's an offset that's just popped up at the entrance as well. So you might just see that it's just swimming perhaps towards us. Keep your eyes peeled either side and you might see an otter swimming around. So I would swim under the boat.
Very overloaded. Yeah. Probably put that side down if you want.
Did you?
Yeah, I was
I did try. What off you?
So distracted by that otter there, but hopefully you still managed to see the wherry that was on Wroxham.